I'm Bob Harris of Decorative Concrete Institute. Welcome to Duramin's training and educational series for industrial and decorative flooring systems. On our Param 5500 installed over wood, to recap, we have 2 coats of CP1000 primer. The first coat dried 4 hours, and then we came back, put our second light coat on there. Roughly 1 hour has elapsed. It's dry. It's no longer tacky. So we're getting ready to mix up, or we mixed up Scrofino Fine, and we used charcoal suede, and the Scrofino Fine that we used was white. It's 4.6 liters of CP1000 in the mix. Now this is a good example if you're wanting kind of a concrete look, which is why you would go over that. Also, you know, wood obviously has a tendency to deflect, and you could get some reflective cracking in here, and this is a good way to kind of mask that over. So there is some flexibility to this type of a product, because of the CP1000 allows some flexibility. So we're going to put the first coat down with a magic trowel, and we'll see what we got. Our Scrofino Fine has dried for roughly 1 hour. We're going to put a final coat of the super fine, so the goal here is to get as smooth of a floor as possible. So it's a good idea to go ahead and sand in between coats. So we have a 100 grit screen on it. Only because this is an hour old, I'm going to go across it pretty quick. A 120 grit screen probably is good too. All right, we just finished sanding our Scrofino Fine. We vacuumed the surface. We did run a damp mop to make sure there's no particulate. And then we obtained what's called SSD, stands for Saturated Surface Dry. So now what we're doing is our final coat on this panel. And we are using Scrofino Superfine White, and we have tinted it with a kind of a medium gray. And the goal here is I'm going to just hand trowel this one and trowel it down really tight so we get some of the underlying color bleeding through. And if you do it properly, you can actually get the look kind of what a hard troweled concrete slab would look like. So I want some of it to bleed through. So I can actually see some of the underlying gray bleed through this color that we're putting on. And then to take it one step further, we'll let this dry for several hours, and then we'll just really quickly put a sand over it just to knock down any ridges or trowel lines. And that's going to also bring some of the underlying color back out. And we'll be left with a fairly smooth surface. All right, this looks really nice. This is how we finished with Scrofino Superfine. We used the Grizzly Gray Color Fast pigment in the mix. Trowel it down as tight as I could. And when this is sanded tomorrow, you'll see the natural variations of both colors. Plus it'll be a fairly flat floor. We'll take it over the top with some dies and get it sealed. On our Param 5500 self-leveling overlay over wood, we've applied 2 coats of Scrofino. The first coat was fine Scrofino. If you remember, we screened that, we cleaned it and then vacuumed it up and then damp mopped it. And now we applied a second coat of the superfine, and now we're getting ready to screen it. It's just a really quick screen. You don't need to park it too long on the screening portion of this. We just want to knock any burrs off, and we should be left with a nice flat floor. We'll vacuum that, give it a damp mop, allow it the sufficient dry time, and move on to finishing this off with some dye to show you that, and then of course we'll seal it.